I'm sorry I let you get attacked by a werewolf and then into the world.
What's up, guys? Old Ed Mike here, Metalcore Mommy Montana. Welcome to our review and mid-season discussion for Lovecraft Country, Episode 5, entitled Strange Case. Real quick, if you'll give me a like and subscribe, trying to hit that 1,000 mark, and I'm really close, and I'd love for you guys watching to be a part of my community, however tiny it is. I'm always doing horror reviews and TV reviews and stuff like that. Lots of stuff, so thanks for dropping by, and let's get into it.
This episode was wild.
Yeah.
A wild trip.
So this one, so this one definitely delves a little more into, I'd say the story of the side characters more.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Letty and Tick are definitely in it, but only, I'd say maybe like 10% of it, maybe, if even that. Probably less than that.
Get a sex scene out of them, though.
Yeah, there's lots of sex scenes.
Yes.
There's, like 4 or 5. Anyways, so it dives into more of the lives of the side characters, more specifically Ruby and Montrose. So basically, the theory that William and Christina are the same person, as you find out. Spoilers. You know, I'm assuming if you're watching this, you've seen the episode. This one I thought was really cool because it isn't as much as horror as the rest of it, but it's technically a different genre of horror. This is more of a body horror, where people can change into different things, or bodies being mutilated. That's what body horror is, and this definitely shows a lot of that. So from the last episode, William promises that he can change her life forever, and he does. She wakes up white. Apparently he gave her this little potion that turns her into a white lady. And she, of course, freaks out. She's walking through the streets, with the mind of a black woman, with the body of a white woman, and she's just totally lost and confused. And she sees, the world as a white lady where all these people are treating her normal. And she, there's a scene where she bumps into this little kid, who's just walking with his popcorn, and the police just immediately jump on him, assuming that that he touched her or something. And, and she's like, she thinks she's in trouble too, because her mind is, still Ruby. And she's watching as these police officers are about to beat the shit out of this kid, and she's like, doesn't know what to do, because you can't do anything. And then she realizes, she has a little bit of power now. And so she kind of lets that go to her head a little bit. She yeah,
I thought so too. I thought she was being like, I don't know, she gets a job at like a basically like a white company or whatever, and there's like one girl there, and it was the woman that she had talked to like the episode before, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, I just thought she was a bitch to that girl like the entire time. Like there was times where she was like kind of being nice, but like also like backhanded and like rude as fuck.
It's because she took the job. That was the job that she had talked about like since the first episode. She was like, oh, I'm gonna move up, I'm gonna fight harder for this job. And then she walked in like I think it was the last episode, and this other girl had gotten the job, and she finds out that she did it with no education or anything. They just hired her, and she was like, what, so she was kind of jealous about that, but she also like still like did kind of help her out and like gave her like pointers and stuff. So
I mean, I guess she did beat the fuck out of that one guy at the end for her.
So really it just shows her journey through finding out this new power that she has through this potion.
Out what the fuck to do with
figuring out what she can do. And later in the episode, she finally finds William says, or technically it's Christina says, what
confusing as fuck.
She's like, what are you really like untethered, and she so there's the scene where she sees the boss of her company, try to put his hands on the black girl that worked at
Tamara.
yeah.
They're like at a bar. All of the white girls at the company like really wanted to go to a Southside bar, so they're like, oh, Tamara will take us, and so like they all go together.
And this boss like tries to put his hands on her, and she's viewing off to the side because she had just changed back into her ruby body, and saw this happen. So she's like, well, I'll get payback for that. And so she does. There's a pretty disturbing scene of
he got what he deserved. She shoves a heel up his ass.
Yeah, I don't want to use the R word, but it's she does stuff to him, but it happens. That's what happened. She got her payback, and then she finds out when she gets back that William walks in, and he's having these shudders like she did when she was transforming back into Ruby, and out pops Christina, just sheds all this nasty skin, which is really cool effect that we saw.
The whole transfer, like William to Christina, like you could literally
really
see her
believable,
hands going and like her head coming. I don't know, that shit was crazy.
It was
for
almost
sure.
like old school like werewolf movie transformations when you see like the hands like elongating and shit like that. It was really cool to see. It was really good CGI. For CGI, it looked, I guess they made the scenes like a little bit darker, so you couldn't really, see a lot of the detail.
I was super pleased with like
the
all
blood
the gore.
and everything was like really well done. So A+ on that.
So like before we find out that like Christina is William, like William makes Ruby like dress like a housemaid and like work for this party thing. And Christina is like there, but William isn't, and she's like, oh, you gotta hide this thing in the police captain's desk. And Ruby's like, what the fuck? And Christina uses William over her, but also like tells her a story that like the police captain shot William in the back and like threw him in the river.
Right.
So like that's where you get your first hint that like
so either William has always been Christina, like they've always been the same person, in that when they killed William, it didn't really happen, it just like she still just popped out later, or William was a real person, and they really did kill William, and Christina used magic to become him. So we don't know yet which one that is. I guess I'm assuming we'll find out. What else? And then so we also big reveal, Montrose is either gay or bisexual, which is pretty I thought it was a really cool scene, because at first when they reveal it, he goes over to the guy's house from the bar. I can't remember who his name is, but they mentioned it before, and it's after Tick beats the shit out of him for finding out he killed the siren. And so he goes over to this guy's house, and they start immediately undressing and getting into it. It seemed kind of like sensual. Like they showed a lot of zooming in on like hands holding and stuff like that. It was also
like really aggressive at the same time though, but it was I couldn't tell.
It was so you're wondering whether or not it's just like him just trying to let out aggression or something. I don't know. But because then the guy tries to kiss Montrose, and he's like, no. But
then he sucks his dick.
But then he goes further. And then but later, it was kind of cool because this whole time you're built up kind of hating Montrose, because you find out he's abusive to Tick, beat the shit out of him when he was a kid. He kills the siren, and no one expected that or wanted that. And then you see him in this there's like this big drag party with all these people, and he's like standing there, and he looks alone, and it's playing this like real somber music, and everyone's dancing around him, and he's just sitting there like looking like he's like, what am I doing? And then all of a sudden he like realizes and like kind of accepts like who he is, I guess. And you see him like really like get into it, and he starts dancing, and it was kind of beautiful.
Yeah, he
honestly.
looks happy. He goes and kisses that guy, because like at the drag party they make a joke about how they hadn't kissed yet or whatever. and he like goes and like kisses him.
Basically,
sweetly.
like he hadn't confirmed that they were together. They were just fucking, you know. And then he finally accepts it, and like I said, you know, it's really touching, especially, you know, with how much most people don't like Montrose right now.
Yeah, but also, like, I feel like they shouldn't use, I don't know, this like one emotional like patch, you know, like it's not really fair to like sit there and be like, oh, here's this cute touching moment, even though he literally just murdered someone and like has been steady like fucking up like their process to try to fix things, you know, like. I don't know.
Maybe it'll change.
We don't know what's going on with them.
Maybe
still.
It'll change him, though. You know, maybe it'll make him more, because he's lived his whole life, you know, hiding who he really is. You know, and that's kind of what he's doing with all this magic shit. He's just kind of trying to hide everything and doesn't want anybody. He just wants everything to be normal. You know, so I'm assuming that's why he did what he did with the siren. I don't know. Still waiting on confirmation on that, but really that's the main parts of the story is Montrose and Ruby. You find out a little bit at the end that Tick deciphers some of the book, and he gets some letters, and he's like, you know, and he starts like freaking out, and he gets these letters that say die, D-I-E. That's all it says. He calls up Gia. He calls her, the girl in where is it? Is it Korea? He calls her up, and you know, because he called her in the first or second episode, you know, telling her that he went home, and she was like, "I told you not to go home," and like that was like the only conversation that they've had. He says to her, he's like, "How did you know?" And then that's the credits. So we were like, "What? You know, cliffhanger shit? What?" Guess we'll find out next week, but yeah, so that's pretty much the synopsis for this one, I think.
I mean, it was really, really focused on Ruby. I really liked seeing her story, though, and, like, seeing her as a person, because, like, maybe it's just, like, her personality, because she's kind of been, like, a bitch the entire show, you know, with, like, the fight with Letty and everything like that.
But, yeah, so this is technically mid-season. I'm going to call it the mid-season, so... we are going to give it a rating as now. I've held off on trying to do each episode rating because that's a lot. But we're going to give it a rating for halfway through and see like what we think is going to happen and what we hope happens. So what do you say you would rate this season so far, halfway through?
Oh, I'm super confident in a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Definitely. I don't know. I've never seen... Like, I mean, of course, like, we've seen horror movies and, like, everything's a different genre, but this is literally, like, the show is compiled, like, so many different subtypes of, like, horror genres and stuff, and, like, the gore and just the effects and the storyline, like, I don't know, like, I don't know where it's going, but I'm, like, curious to see where it's going, because it's still, like, doing, like, a different, like, type theme or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
I really like it. I don't know. Just highly recommend. Obviously,
and it's I'd say it also like it's bringing a lot of personality into it and more. It's not just horror, you know, too. Yeah. So
and representation. I told you that during the movie. Super great representation.
There's just a lot of really good stuff in this show. So yeah, obviously 10 out of 10 so far. So where do we want to see it go? What do you hope happens?
I don't even fucking know what's going on. I mean, I know, but like, I don't really know what the whole end game is. I don't know what the goal is, you know, because is there really a bad guy other than the white people in this? Like, there's monsters and shit, you know, but like, you don't have like a solid antagonist. Yeah,
so that is one thing I will say. I guess that one downside to the show is there's not, other than the racism part, there's not really a villain at the moment. It's all sub-villains, you know what I mean? It's something bad that happens in each one. Obviously, it's leading up to something because, you know, there's still the Brotherhood, Sons of Adam, the police chief, you know, that
just came into the picture.
There's, you know,
lots of people.
I'm assuming somewhere this Titus guy or somebody is still alive somewhere, trying to pull some strings, or something's gonna happen. Someone's gotta pop up. So there's got to be some reveal of a higher villain. That's what we're kind of waiting on. But other than that, I mean, everything's still flowing pretty well.
Yeah.
It's bringing new stuff every episode, different genres, different twists. It's nothing has been the same so far.
Yeah,
so
I don't think there's been a single episode that I was like even like bored or anything, you know, like waiting for it to end or anything like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really like it.
So
excited to see where the fuck they go with the show.
Well, other than that, I guess really that's it. Just wanted to talk a little bit about this series. I hope everyone is having a good time watching it. Let us know what you think your rating is for this mid-season. Let us know what you want to happen or what you think is going to happen. Because also wondering, you know, where it's going to go. Because the next episode looks like it's going to be more of a flashback. It looks like it's when Tick was fighting in the war and meets the girl. So we're gonna learn about what he was freaking out about. What she said that he was like, "What did you know? How did you know?" So I guess we'll figure that out in the next one. So looks like it might slow down, but who knows? We always think that, and it surprises us. So
yeah.
But thanks for sticking around. Like I said, leave us some comments. Let us know what y'all think. And give us a like and subscribe, please. Really want you to join my community. Really appreciate you watching this far. And other than that, thanks for stopping by. Old Head Mike signing off, reminding you, never too old for this. Someday, love will find you. Break those chains and bind you.